Good morning, my name is Natalie Flanagan, and today I'm going to change your mind on the classic stereotype popular mean girl sideline cheerleader. By the time I finish my speech, your definition of cheerleading will be a new one. The million-dollar question that causes so much disagreement is, should cheerleading be considered a sport? In order for me to prove to you that cheerleading should be considered a sport, I'm going to give you a brief definition on what a sport is. The Webster Dictionary states that a sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. I'm going to break this definition apart so that I can show you how cheerleading fits into each stage. Let's start off by proving that as a cheerleader, you have to have physical exertion. When you picture an athlete, you imagine someone who is toned, has abs, and lots of muscles. When we look at somebody like this, we know that they fit the stereotype of an athlete. Let's take a quick look at some pictures that show physical exertion. Each one of these pictures represents a college cheerleader. And by looking at these pictures, you can tell that a lot of time and effort has been devoted to preparing their body to participate in their sport. Next, I'm going to prove to you that cheerleading requires skills. Many people think that in order to be a cheerleader that all you have to do is yell, smile, and wave your pom-poms. This is definitely not the skill that is required today. Cheerleaders today are required to know how to tumble, but not just by doing a little forward roll or even a cartwheel and round off. You have to be able to run into a tumble pass to where you get enough power and height to where you can do a full 360 in the air and land right back onto your feet. For those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, here's a video to demonstrate on what a full is. This is not something that is learned or perfected overnight. It can take months or years to be able to perform these tumbling requirements for a college cheerleader. I myself have been perfecting my tumbling for years now and still to this day have to work at it every day to improve and learn new tricks. Another skill that is required is stunning. Once again, in today's world of cheerleading, stunning does not consist of a shoulder stand. It is much more physical. Stunning you have to be able to do like a bodybuilder and use nothing but your leg muscles. You have to know the proper technique on your stance, the placement of your hands, and perfect timing with your bases. We have to physically lift a girl up over our head that weighs the same as us or even more than us. This definitely takes skills. The next two videos that I'm going to show you are your own UNA cheerleaders at practicing their stunts. When you think of sports, you think about competing. Yes, cheerleaders do compete. Unlike football players who has 4 quarters, baseball players who has 9 innings, and basketball players who has 2 halves to correct their mistakes and win the competition, cheerleaders only have 2 minutes and 35 seconds to perfect their routine and only get 1 shot at winning. Most guys practice for months to perform one time for 2 minutes and 35 seconds. In this video you're about to watch shows you the skill requirements put into a routine that the University of Kentucky cheerleaders performed at Cheer Nationals this year.
We'd like to welcome you to Kentucky Nation. Wildcats unleashed. The cave, you gonna get the beast.
As you can see in this video, these girls devoted a lot of time in preparing themselves for this routine. The tension of cheerleading competition is just like an Alabama and Auburn football game. If any of you have ever watched Bring It On the movie, then you know just how competitive cheerleaders are with one another. Let's look at some other reasons as to why cheerleading should be considered a sport. Let me tell you about the time requirements and the injuries that take place in cheerleading. Just like any sport, cheerleading has to have workout time, practice time, and individual times. Most people that does not consider cheerleading as a sport has no clue the hours that we put in. As a UNA cheerleader this year, we had Monday through Thursday morning workouts from 5 to 6:30. then practice time at night starting at 8 and not leaving the gym until 10. We were also required to attend at least one tumbling class per week. From this you can see the sport of cheerleading requires as much time and energy as any other college sport. All sports have injuries, which is my last point in persuading you that cheerleading should be considered a sport. The website www.usssa.edu states 2/3 of sports-related injuries among girl athletes come from cheerleading. Cheerleader falls from stunts have been reported to have a greater impact than being tackled by a professional football player. Common injuries among cheerleaders include concussions, torn ACL, broke nose, busted lips, broken arms, sprained ankles, black eyes, and even in the most serious cases being paralyzed and death. From this you can see cheerleading is a risky sport just like any other sport. I hope you have gathered over these last few minutes that cheerleading is very dear to me, and I believe it should be considered a sport. I hope I have persuaded you to believe this also. I hope that you have gained some insight on the skills and requirements for cheering and understand that it fits the definition of a sport. Therefore, cheerleading should be considered a sport. Thanks.